Check 1, 2. We should be live on the YouTube, on the Facebook, everywhere around the world. We're going to be pulling in the press conference today. If you happen to see, I have no idea where that's going to happen at. If that's going to be on someone's Facebook, if they're going to do that live from a okay, so let's so if you happen to see a link to that live press conference, send it my way. Otherwise, I'll end up stirring it down here pretty quickly. But you know, there's a lot that we probably aren't going to get a ton of info. We're probably going to get a lot of stuff that we've kind of already assumed, or we've already, you know, either we've already assumed or we're going to maybe find something out that we didn't know. But at this point, I think we have a lot of info when it comes. Been waiting for your video on this case. Well, where you been the last couple of days? Because we've been covering this case from the start. You can go back. I've been doing 2.5, 3 hour lives around this videos or around this case. So if you haven't checked out those, I wasn't even going to go live yesterday. And because of all the breaking news of the house being searched and things happening, we were talking. Oh, look at Jay. Jay's got one scheduled too. We're going to stomp each other. She's going to be mad at me about that. I didn't even know Jay was going to go live. Oh, well, there's enough YouTube for us all to go around. Y'all can just jump back and forth between me and Jay is for justice. KUVE is out of Austin. They have been going live recently. Okay. Yeah, we've been talking to one of their producers or one of their people. So we'll go over to their channel now and make sure we've got that pulled up and audio working, just in case they end up going live. So why don't we play this video here while so we can get caught up. Let me make sure all the audios are working. So I plan on doing. That's what I plan on doing. Going in between us. I'd rather listen to D-Wop, Tammy says. That's what I'm talking about. 2:15 until Christmas vacation. What? We share. Yeah, KVUE. I got their QView. We've got their station pulled up now. We're gonna play a video from there and make sure we got our StreamYard audio working. I don't want no technical difficulties coming that way. So we're gonna pull in, make sure we got audio working. You guys will be able to let me know on that as soon as we got the ads going. Let's kill that. I don't need to run an ad for you. Oh, here we go.
Investigating reported kidnapping in West Campus. KVU's Luis De Leon is live there now to tell us what police know.
Oh, this is West Campus. This is something else.
Well, it's on the corner, in the area of the corner of 24th and San Antonio.
This is something totally different. That's totally different. They're covering all kinds of missing persons kidnappings right now. Let's go find their. I hope y'all had the audio. Y'all let me know if that audio was working though. Y'all let me know. We're going to try to find, there's, okay, raw scene. This is raw video from the scene. Maybe we'll play some of that and see what goes on there. Oh, escape. StreamYard. Like I said, we're going to pull in we'll pull in the live video as soon as it shows up. Right now, we're just trying to make sure we've got audio and stuff set up. This one probably doesn't have a lot of audio, but we'll play this for a little bit. No, nothing. I've streamed that. Oh, good. Sounds good. Okay, y'all heard it. So good. That means we're working right now. This is not going to have audio because this is just some raw footage from last night. What they do is they get this stuff for all the news organizations around the country, and so that they can show it and have people, you know, watching it. I was going to come through here. This is just raw footage of the house, I guess, at night. Oh, this is in the morning. So this is the house this morning. So, oh, so here's that drone footage. So what we do know is that the body was found in this vehicle in the trunk, and it looks like they tried to not hide the body or not hide the vehicle, but they definitely pulled it through the fence and put it in the backyard. Oh, WFAA is live now. Okay. So let's go find WFAA. A lot of times they use no, that's not what I want. A lot of times they use a pool camera, so they'll only have one camera hooked in. So we got to be a little bit weary of that. I wonder if they're going to stream it on their homepage, if they're going to stream it on Facebook, if they're streaming it. Where are they streaming it from is the question. I can stream it from wherever, whether it's from their, but I'm trying to see where they're pulling they show videos live. So let's see if we can live coverage. An individual has been arrested. Yep, that's what we want. Okay, so they're live now. So I bet they're going to cut. Yeah, they're going to cut this. Perfect. Yep, we're going live. We're going to have them right here. Oh, crap. I got to go back. I didn't get the audio in there. So let's do that again. Stop. Make sure I get the audio. Boom.
Heidi, according to Heidi's mom, found in the back of a trunk of a vehicle.
All right.
In Northwest.
You should have audio. If you don't have audio, let me know right now, and then we'll make sure to get it going. But you should have audio playing.
Daughter Margot found inside that home unhurt, now in a foster home with CPS custody.
Boom.
This afternoon.
Perfect.
And they're just
we should all be good.
A lot of missing.
So we're waiting live here with them streaming. Get out of here. You ain't getting in my live video. I don't even have my camera on.
We don't know if we're going to get all those answers.
Hey, Danielle, what's going on? I'm glad you're in here. Who knows what's about to happen?
In this case, even though Harris County Sheriffs and Houston Police and a lot of local agencies are involved, FBI even,
Texas Rangers, everybody.
All deferring to Austin PD.
Good.
So anything we've been able to get has either come from law enforcement sources out of Austin, a few things coming out locally, but
thank you, Michelle, for letting me know audio is good on Facebook and
waiting for the official
YouTube. So
press conference and update.
Hopefully we don't get kicked by streaming this because I'm talking over some of it.
We'll be here before and after to answer any questions and kind of.
So they're going to stay live here
after we hear from Austin Police. But there are Cheryl, many unanswered questions here, just about, you know, the involvement of Christopher Green, the man that Megan
Christopher Green was the one who called in the CPS.
An innocent guy here
he's the one who called in the CPS.
No idea this was going on. Right. We don't know.
So I just muted audio. So I just muted audio on the news. So I'm listening. I got my little news headset on so I can hear them, but I don't need to listen to these news guys on my YouTube channel. So we'll bring in the live when they come in, but we do have good audio. We've checked it. So we just cut it off for right now. They are moving quickly. Arrests have been made. We believe Megan is in custody and has been charged with tampering with a corpse and 2 counts of kidnapping. That's what we kind of know. And then we're going to let them go, and we'll listen to the live video. We'll throw that up in the larger size just so you guys can see. But I wanted to be here, and we started following this case right away. We're going to follow it all the way through trial, verdict, deal, whatever. So, there are a lot of questions being asked, like what's going to happen with the baby? Where's the baby going? Where's the baby at? We do know the baby's at the hospital right now and being in the care of the hospital, but the baby will probably be turned back over to the father pretty quickly. And so they did find the baby. They found the baby, Terry, and the baby is safe. Hopefully everything will be good. We should be good. I don't think we're going to run into a broadcast problem right now. Is there a recent photo of Megan yet? I haven't seen a booking photo yet, but I haven't seen a booking photo just yet from her recent arrest, but that'll be up today. They'll probably release that today. They'll probably let us have that information today. We are in contact. We have been actively tweeting and DMing with local news organizations, a couple of local reporters, I should say. We're working on getting one of those local reporters on the page, but here, let's listen to this.
No, don't know them a whole lot, but they've been here for a while, a couple of years.
So it's
Yeah.
Chris and a woman.
And his girlfriend, yeah,
Chris and his
I knew they
girlfriend
were
live in that
trying to
house.
have a child.
So she's been here as long as he has, or she
No,
moved in a few years later?
She moved in later. She hasn't been with. He had another lady that he bought the house with, and then he was single for some time, and then this young lady has been here at least a year, I think, with him.
Do you know what her name is by any chance?
I don't. That's
Mugshot
just the thing.
released of Megan. This
He's
is the new
only one that
mugshot.
speaks.
This is
He
the
never
recent
speaks
mugshot.
to anyone.
Is she Caucasian? Is she?
Yes.
Gotcha. So what happened last night?
The mugshot has been
I didn't get home
released.
until very late. But my
See?
neighbor called me
See how
early in the
quick we are,
day,
Corey?
so
You said it, and
Texas
sure
Rangers
enough,
were
look,
on our street,
somebody
and
texted
they're
me
at
and sent
Chris's
me the
house and all
mugshot.
that. But when I got home last night, there were Rangers everywhere, and so I had to park at my neighbor's because I couldn't get to my house. And so, anyway.
Did you have any idea what this was about?
No, I thought maybe he was into
I'm gonna
drugs
text
or
this to myself
something.
here.
I never would have thought in a million years it was this.
What are your thoughts?
It's just
Can I
very
airdrop?
upsetting that, someone could do that. And I've been following that.
I'm emailing that
story
photo to
as
myself right
being,
now.
having been missing, and thought, what in the world could have happened to her? And oh, Lord Jesus, here she in our backyard. But well, at least her baby's safe, but still very upsetting. Anyway.
It's crazy that you were following the story. You had no idea how close.
No, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, because I'm from Austin. I'm from LaGrange, and Austin is, all that. So it just really sparked my interest. And then, just the fact they kept showing her on the news all week, that she was missing.
Did you guys see anything
No.
suspicious?
No. Again, this neighborhood's just very quiet, very peaceful.
Nothing suspicious with Chris on that day or his...
No, I saw him maybe 2 or 3 days ago, I guess, coming home from work, and he always backs up. And I was bringing in the trash cans, and he just waved like he always does. He doesn't speak much. He just always waves.
And the girlfriend never speaks?
Never speaks.
Anything suspicious about her?
No, I just thought she was probably shy. They, like I said, they just kind of keep to themselves, go back and forth like we all do, to work. So, anyway.
There, she was talking to a neighbor. I believe that woman lived right next door. She was talking about Chris. We believe Chris.
That's crazy. The neighbor. Hey, I'm gonna turn him up. I'm gonna let y'all listen to him for a second because I'm trying to get
so
this
ago,
picture over to me.
Megan Fiermuska moves in, and she never spoke with her the whole time, but she talked to Chris every once in a while and waved at him and all that. So she
There's
kinda
so
knew the
many twists
situation.
and turns to this.
There is.
Now, Russ, people are asking on my page, where's Dad physically?
We're talking about Margot's dad.
Yes,
now,
Margot's
right? Yeah,
dad.
that would
Margot,
be
the
that would be
infant's father.
Shane Carey,
Where,
right?
where is Shane?
Yeah, and we don't know that where he physically is right now. He has talked to the media in Austin throughout this. He was distraught. He was just praying for his fiance and their daughter to come home. But I can't tell you where he is right now. He may be up here, or he may still be in Austin.
And people are asking as well about the DNA test. When is that going to happen? And we understand that's underway. That process is underway now.
Yeah, the
So-
DNA, did we mention that before? The authorities are doing a DNA test on the child they found, just to confirm that it is indeed Margot.
Absolutely.
Be able to confirm it genetically.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
that-
cool. So
just
they are
checks one
doing a
more thing
DNA
off.
test.
And that's just one of so many things that CPS and law enforcement have to go through. They have to go through their checklist, and it's pretty lengthy, to make sure that Margot goes to the correct place and a safe place. Again, Margot, the infant, in foster care, we were told this afternoon by CPS.
Okay, you're looking there, and we're keeping this up just so you know that we're on top of it here, but you're looking there at the podium, and the microphone's ready to go at Austin's police department. We're waiting on, in the next few minutes, that press conference to start with an update on this case. So we're going to keep that up just so we know it's coming and you know it's coming, and we don't miss anything here as we get ready to go. We have no idea if they will be on time today or if they won't, but we will keep it up there.
Surely
So,
some important information coming out of this. A lot of people wanting to know any update, and who knows what we'll find out here as far as the investigation is concerned and who they've spoken with and how their interview process is going.
right, this is so early in the investigation.
It is.
We don't know how much information they'll be willing to release at this point. Law enforcement is generally pretty reluctant to, speculate
Especially
on this case.
especially when we have an infant involved here. This is just, and again, it's just
I'm with
so
you guys. I'm
hard
just
so
setting
tough
this
when you
stuff
have
up right now. I'm
a
trying to
child
get
here
some
who's
streams
so
going
delicate and cannot
online.
speak a word and can't tell what happened yet,
Right.
and probably will never remember. We're hoping.
We hope so.
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be the best part of this.
Absolutely.
So as we wait for this here, let me just kind of recap here. Hold on one second. Okay. Heidi Broussard disappeared December 12th in Austin. She had dropped off a child at an elementary school near her home. We believe that was possibly Shane Carey's child from another relationship, a little bit older child, again, grade school age. Surveillance video has her in that school between 7:30 and 8 a.m. on December 12th. And then that's the last time anybody saw her that we know. She disappears. We believe she got back home, but disappears. Neighbors don't see or hear anything. Her phone, her wallet, her car keys, her vehicle are all still at her house. So she just vanishes along with Margot on December 12th. Here we are 8 days later. It was late last night, right about midnight, actually, that authorities, for some reason, showed up at this house in the Rolling Fork neighborhood, Northwest Harris County, right outside the boundaries of Jersey Village. Something brought them to that house. We hope to learn, the details on that. But they showed up there late at night and did not want to wait until this morning to act on whatever information they had. They went around back. They found a vehicle parked back there. They opened up the trunk and found the body of Heidi Broussard, according to Heidi's mother. And then inside the home, found 1-month-old Margot unhurt.
Thankfully safe.
We don't know if this woman they have in custody was also in that house. We don't know if Christopher Green, the owner of the home, was there at that time either. Those are unanswered questions. We assume somebody was with that little baby, but we can't tell you who, if anybody.
Yeah, hopefully they can fill us in on that here at this news conference at 2:00. There's so many twists and turns, so many unanswered questions, and people have been glued to this story. This beautiful mom, beautiful baby, just gone.
Well, we can see right now thousands of you are watching just this digital update here, and we
got 400 viewers in here, so we're not doing too bad.
3,000 of you were reading the story at any given
I'm
time
not
on
bad
our
with that.
website. just trying to get the very latest information. So we've done the unusual.
We're going to do commentary and we're going to talk through this, but we will give you full audio. I'm not going to interrupt the press conference. I ain't going to give all these guys the credit. You know what I'm saying? It's still my channel. So I will give you full screen and live, all of that once we get going. So we'll keep y'all going. I don't need them talking on my show. They have released a mugshot. So you think this thing's gonna blow our mind, huh? It's gonna take our mind and do something new with it. Yeah. Well, that's why I want to also get some. I'm going to get some social media. I'm going to get some of these press people in the social media realm. Hopefully tonight, I'm going to land one of those interviews tonight, and we'll be talking with those tonight. So, I can't hear what they're saying. Yeah, you can't hear what they're saying because I have them off right now. I'll bring their audio up like this. I'll bring them up as soon, but I don't need to listen to these. I don't need to listen to them any more than I want to talk to you guys. So if you don't like that, you can always go. JS for Justice is running this thing right now. DWAP Sam Kramer's leaving KOA. You don't think I didn't know that? You don't think I didn't know that? I know where he's going. I know how long he's going to be there. Me and Sam are buddies. So Mary, thank you for the update. But yes, I am very much aware of where Sam's going, what's going on with Sam. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show this real quick because I can. Here we go. This is a neighbor coming up.
Next door
Neighbor's
as well,
coming up.
To
but I want to show you all the
Green
picture too, because
Megan
I'm going to
Fearuska.
tell what I told the guy who's in charge of Sam. Let me tell you what I told the guy who's in charge of Sam a couple days ago. This was like Wednesday or
small
something.
Box there with
I'm going to show you a little
Austin PD,
text messages
and we will
between
dump out of
us.
this interview as soon as the police start their press conference.
You going to read those maybe? That's what I told the boss. Wait, let me. So we're talking about Sam right now.
All I've seen yesterday since I got back from work was law enforcement.
What's that?
Mostly Austin PD. But she really needs to
Okay. Were they able to tell
They tried to keep him. They tried to keep him, Mary.
No, I asked them a little bit about, what they might know, and all these, all they could tell me was that you might see it on the news tonight, being yesterday.
Seeing that outside your house, I mean, what was going through your mind? What is going through your mind now?
Well, we were postulating all different things and everything, somebody wanted or whatever. And then this thing about, the missing girl and her baby came up last night. That's so sad. It's just hard to believe it's something to happen right next door. But that's really, all we can say.
Chris, can you talk a little bit about him? He's lived here 4 or 5 years, you said?
Yeah, he's in his early 30s. He's a nice guy. I mean, I've talked to him probably less than 10 times in my life. And he seemed like a nice guy.
Always quiet neighbors.
But he does drive a black SUV. There's a woman that lives there that has lived with him maybe a year and a half or so.
Do they have any kids?
No, I never.
Okay, what did you see here yesterday? Can you explain a little bit?
All I've seen yesterday since I got back from work was law enforcement people, mostly Austin PD. But she really needs to.
Okay. Were they able to tell you anything about what was going on? Did you ask anybody?
No, I asked them a little bit about, what they might know, and all these, all they could tell me was that you might see it on the news tonight, being yesterday.
Seeing that outside your house, I mean, what was going through your mind? What is going through your mind now?
Well, we were postulating all different things and everything, somebody wanted or whatever. And then this thing about, the missing girl and her baby came up last night. That's so sad. It's just hard to believe something to happen right next door. But that's really, all we can say.
Chris, can you talk a little bit about him? He's lived here 4 or 5 years, you said?
Yeah, he's in his early 30s. He's a nice guy. I mean, I've talked to him probably less than 10 times in my life, and he seemed like a nice guy.
Always quiet neighbors.
But he does drive a black SUV. There's a woman that lives there that has lived with him maybe a year and a half or so.
Do they have any kids?
No, I never saw any kids.
Did you know she was pregnant, the woman that lives here?
I didn't know, no. Although I kind of suspected when I did see her, she was, a little bigger than she was. She looked like she might be pregnant, but I didn't know for sure.
But they never give you any trouble? They never?
No, not a bit. I mean, he was a pretty nice guy. He'd ask me about yard work and, what kind of plants and stuff.
So this was a national, this case made national news with the missing mother and her
Yeah.
from Austin. So when you saw Austin PD, did you make that connection? Or
No,
was it
not at that
last night?
time. Not until last night. I mean, when we saw the Austin PD, we just thought it was some, they wanted in Austin or something. But,
And you said they were searching through her car last night?
no, her car has apparently been in the backyard the whole time. She drives it, or he drives it, or somebody in between the house and the garage and parks it on the back patio.
We're back up? Okay, great. That was a second neighbor there as we wait for Austin PD here.
So I cut them out right now while he's just chit chatting. The neighbors talked through. You heard it. They both have talked to her, talked to Chris, but it wasn't a lot. He said he talked to him like 10 times over years. So, the fact that they didn't stay on this page. That's not what I want. How to reply to this? Can someone tell me how to reply on this live chat to one of you? I forgot. You just have to put at. Oh, here we go.
I want to introduce a few of the folks that are here with me that will be speaking at this press conference today. I have Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Christopher Combs. I have Margaret Moore, the Travis County District Attorney. With us representing DPS is Todd Snyder, who is the Regional Director, and then Austin Police Department Detective Brad Harries. I want to identify at the beginning of this press conference that we will go against our standard practice of taking questions at the end of this press conference, because this is still a very active and ongoing investigation. We have multiple teams of investigators that are at different jurisdictions as we speak in this room today that are still investigating this case. So we're going to give you all of the information that we can share at this point. We understand there is a tremendous amount of interest in this case, but we're going to give you all the information that we can, and we commit to you that we will give you updates as we can without impacting the integrity of this investigation. It is heartbreaking circumstances that bring us here today. As you all are well aware that there has been a lot that has developed in the overnight hours. This all began back on December 12th when 33-year-old Heidi Broussard and infant daughter, 2-week-old baby Margot Casey were last seen as they dropped off their sibling and their son at school, and we have been investigating their disappearance since that time. On Tuesday, APD Detective Harries gave a very thorough briefing to the media on what had been developed at that point through the investigation, and there's a lot that has happened since that time, most notably the events that took place out in the Houston and Harris County area overnight and into the early morning hours today. Detective Harries will give you a briefing here momentarily, updating the specifics of what took place. But what we will confirm at this point is that we did recover an infant female child that we do believe at this time is Margot. However, we are awaiting the results of DNA testing to confirm that identity, and that testing may take us between 48 and 72 hours to get that confirmation. Additionally, we recovered the body of an adult female. We do believe that this is Ms. Broussard. However, again, we are awaiting the results of the autopsy to confirm her identity. We do have one person that has been arrested and charged. The charges that have been filed at this point are 2 charges of kidnapping and 1 charge of tampering with a corpse. We are not confirming the identity of the suspect at this time. I do understand that there are pictures being circulated and names being circulated in the media. However, we're not going to confirm, again, to protect the integrity of this ongoing investigation. There may be additional charges that are filed in this case as the investigation carries on, and that will be determined as we develop more information and uncover more evidence. This was a tremendous undertaking by many different divisions that I will recognize before Detective Harries comes up and gives a briefing. Several units from the Austin Police Department participated in this investigation, to include our Homicide Division, our Missing Persons Division, our Special Investigations Unit, our Robbery Unit, our Violent Crimes Task Force, our Organized Crime Division. The Texas DPS Rangers were involved, the Travis County District Attorney's Office, the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, their CARD squad was here, Texas Parks and Wildlife, Travis County Search and Rescue, and Child Protective Services, all pulled together to work on this case. Again, everyone hoping for an outcome different than the one it appears that we had, and that is with the loss of life. And although we are grateful that it appears as though we have safely recovered baby Margot, again, we do believe that Ms. Broussard lost her life in this incident. Detective Harries will now come up and give you a briefing on the events that have taken place in this investigation over the past 24 hours.
Good afternoon. My name is Brad Harries. I'm a detective with the Austin Police Department Cold Case Homicide and Missing Persons Unit. I'm going to go through a brief timeline of the events that have happened in the past 7 or 8 days. This is not all inclusive. On Thursday, December 12th, 2019, Heidi Broussard, she's a 33-year-old white female, and her 2-week-old baby, Margot, were last seen dropping off Heidi's 6-year-old child at his school at Cowan Elementary. Heidi and Margot are believed to have returned to their residence in the area of William Cannon and South First at approximately 7:30 in the morning on December 12th. The complainant arrived home, found that Heidi, his girlfriend, and Margot, his daughter, were not home. As the day progressed, the complainant went to pick up their 6-year-old child from after-school activities and found that Margot was not there. The complainant became alarmed and contacted the Austin Police Department along with friends and family trying to find the location of his girlfriend and daughter. The Austin Police Department was contacted at approximately 7:31 p.m. on December 12th. Officers on scene began an investigation. They searched for them both there in the complex, conducted preliminary investigations, and contacted me that evening on December 12th, 2019. At that time, a BOLO was issued. That's a be on the lookout within our department. Both were entered into national and statewide databases as missing, and their information was dispersed throughout the community using a reverse 911 system that reached over 4,000 people in that area. Their images and descriptions were released to the media later in the morning of December 13th, 2019. We utilized various resources and legal processes in the attempt to locate Heidi and Margot. This has been an ongoing process with numerous warrants that have been approved and executed in the search for them. We have spoken with family, with friends, with coworkers, with neighbors. We have canvassed the areas that we know them to have been in. We have done video canvasses of any areas that we have believed them to have been in. We conducted video surveillance in association with some of our federal and statewide partners. We have done extensive video collection, online and social media research, interviews, phone calls, and these investigations have gone across Texas and gone across out-state lines. NCMEC, one of our partners, released a nationwide flyer with images depicting Margot and Heidi. As we progress through this investigation, local, state, and federal partners followed tips and leads that were provided by the public. We received numerous calls to our tip lines, notifications online of various tips of people who thought they had seen Heidi or Margot, had information related to their location, and those tips were vetted and explored and investigated fully. As the week progressed, this current week, a lead was generated that created a location of interest in the Houston area in Harris County. Federal, state, and local resources deployed to that area of Harris County and began to investigate a residence there. Ultimately, those investigators encountered an individual outside of that residence who was detained on Thursday, December 19th, 2019. As the evening progressed, a search warrant was issued for property at that residence, both vehicles and the residence. Those search warrants were signed and were carried out by the Austin Police Department, Department of Public Safety, and with assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation as we conducted those searches. During that search, we located a baby who is currently safe, currently healthy, who is currently in the care of Child Protective Services. That child's visual appearance is consistent with that of baby Margot. As the search continued, officers located a deceased adult female on the property. And as Chief Manley said earlier, early indications would lead us to believe that that is Heidi. The property in Houston continues to be an active scene. We are investigating multiple locations between Austin and Houston and in the surrounding areas with the assistance of the FBI, state level partners with DPS, the Texas Rangers, and the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The Harris County Medical Examiner's Office is conducting an autopsy today of the deceased adult female to determine the cause of death, determine the manner of death. And as that information is released to us investigators, we will continue our investigation of this event. As Chief Manley said, an arrest has been made in this case. The charges are 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of tampering with a corpse. The total bond for the 3 charges is $600,000. That person is in custody as we speak. As I've said, this is an ongoing and active investigation. If you have any information related to the disappearance of Heidi Broussard or her 2-week, now 3-week-old daughter, Margot, we ask that you contact the Austin Police Department at 512-974-5250. Yes, last name Herries, first name Brad, B-R-A-D. I'm a detective.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Combs. I'm the FBI Special Agent in charge. It's been a horrible week here in Austin. We had all prayed that we would be able to find Heidi alive. Unfortunately, as the chief expressed, we don't believe that is the case. We are very thankful, though, that through the combined efforts here, we were able to recover baby Margot, and the baby seems to be in very good health. I know everybody asks, how do we do these things? How are we able to do that? Some of that we can't discuss openly right now because it's ongoing, but I just wanted to stress that these recoveries happen because of dogged police work, where the Austin Police Department, their missing persons unit, has done an incredible job in combination with the Texas Rangers and with the assets that the FBI was able to bring to bear. It really is through that partnership of those agencies, with a lot of other help from a lot of other agencies, that we were able to recover that baby, which really is, one of the greatest things I think we could do is to save a child. One of the things we brought to bear in this particular case is something called the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team. These are national teams that the FBI has around the country that we deploy at the request of our state and local partners whenever a child is abducted. We were able to bring that team here to Austin and work next to the detectives and the Rangers to bring this case to closure and to recover that child. The CARD teams were developed back in 2006, and through this investigation, they've deployed 167 times. What that team really brings to bear is that expertise of being through so many of these abductions, knowing how they work.
That live video has frozen on the feed. That is not from me. Let me see if I can. Oh, are we back yet? No, shoot. Golly. I wonder if everybody's froze or just WFAA's froze. Their live feed has froze. Yep, he's coming back now. Shysters.
The signal frozen. Signal coming in here in just a second. Get you
Yep.
right back to the press conference there.
I'm not like Special Agent in Charge Combs. I wish we had completely good news today, but I am proud of the efforts that have taken place here. I think it's a demonstration of the dedication of law enforcement and the DA's office that we spend, once the call came in, we were working on it 24/7. I want to commend the dedicated lawyers in my office, two of whom are standing here with me today. We established a major crimes hotline when I took office, and these attorneys take on this responsibility in addition to their regular duties, so they are on call 24/7. And we got this call. They've been working day in and day out with law enforcement to assist in getting the papers that were needed to conduct the searches and other pieces of the investigation. We will continue to be involved in this investigation, of course, as we evaluate what, if any, additional charges need to be brought. I always feel very privileged to work with these dedicated individuals, and I'm also pleased to be able to tell the citizens of this county how collaborative and thorough law enforcement is as we work on these major cases. I also would like to thank the Harris County District Attorney, Kim Ogg. Her office extended us every courtesy and assistance that we needed down there. So and I expect that to continue. So, thank you for being here.
And as we wrap up the press conference today, I just want to express the heartfelt condolences of everyone you see standing here with me, our community, our department, that we did not have 2 rescues, but only 1, it appears. And our hearts and our minds are with Heidi and her family today and as we go forward. I appreciate you respecting that we cannot take questions because we've given you everything we can at this point, and we are committed to providing you with additional information at which time we can, when it will not impact the further and ongoing investigations. I will say, though, that Special Agent in Charge, Christopher Combs, will do individual interviews if you have questions regarding the CARD team and their operations. But I will reiterate that it is only about the CARD team and their operations, and no questions regarding the investigation or the occurrences will be handled if you choose to do one of those individuals. So thank you all again for coming out for covering this, and we are committed to giving you information when we can. Thank you.
That is Austin Police Chief Brian Manley there giving us an update today on this case.
So they gave us some info, not all info, but Heidi's boyfriend, Shane, is the complainant. He's the complainant. He's the one who the cops answered the call for. They're working for Shane. And so I'm not saying that new evidence isn't going to come forward, and I'm not saying that there's not going to be more info come. This is the woman they have arrested, though. This is the woman that is in custody and has been charged. She's been charged with 2 counts of kidnapping and 1 count of tampering with a corpse. Her bond is set at $600,000, $100,000 a piece for the kidnapping, and $400,000 on the charge of messing with a corpse. So you got to understand that when law enforcement showed up at the house, when they showed up to the house, she was outside the house. And so they've got the car, the vehicle. They're saying that Heidi was found in her trunk, in the trunk. And so they haven't confirmed Heidi or Margot, but they called her Heidi and Margot, but they said they have to wait for those DNA tests to come back. And so they took Megan into custody immediately, and then got the search warrants after that. So we learned a little bit. We didn't learn a lot. But we learned a little bit. There's a post on here where her mugshot says later expected murder charges. Yeah. So what's probably going to happen, what's probably going to take place is that they are going to wait for those DNA tests to come back. And once those DNA tests come back, that's when they will end up charging her with murder. And so they're going to wait till those DNA results come back. And as soon as they confirm that it's Heidi, boom, they'll make those charges. They'll bring those charges. So what about, well, what we did find out is that the boyfriend is the one who did call CPS, that got CPS there. The boyfriend is the one who kind of led them to here. Now, the boyfriend thought that baby was his, which is a little weird because I think the boyfriend may have some African American in him or another ethnicity. So there's going to be some weirdness going on there for a little bit, but he did come forward. And so, yeah, that's what everybody believes is afterwards. I can just say his name. After the autopsy comes back, I believe they will come back. So here's a little news.
Corpse. We found out of this press conference that they encountered her outside of the home when some sort of lead brought investigators to that home just outside Jersey Village. As we look at that here, some recording, some tape from Air 11, and there you can see the vehicle where Heidi Broussard's body was found in the trunk of that silver car that was parked around in back of the home. So, and investigators would not tell us specifically, but some lead led them specifically to that home. They arrived there at some point yesterday, and then what we did not know is they encountered somebody outside the home, took her into custody, and then obtained search warrants to go into the home and into the vehicle there on the property. And that's where they found baby Margot inside the home unhurt, and the body of what's believed to be Heidi Broussard in the trunk of that vehicle. So we didn't know they obtained search warrants. We still don't know what led them to that house in the first place, but we were able to learn from neighbors that that home is owned by a gentleman and that the woman under arrest lives there with him and has, neighbors say, for the last year to year and a half. They were guessing there at what point she moved in. He's lived there for several years. May have purchased the home with another woman, but lives there now with the woman under arrest, who sources in Austin have told us, told our affiliates there. This woman, Megan Fiermuska, was a close friend of Heidi Broussard's, was there for the birth of Margot less than a month ago. And according to law enforcement sources, she herself pretended to be pregnant this whole time, and was pretending that she was also with child, as her friend Heidi was.
Thanks for those kind words, Alan.
Let's
Sherry.
bring in Grace White, who has been working this story extensively, and we appreciate it. I know you've already had a busy day as all this has started to develop here, well, late last night, actually. Well, tell me when you first got brought in on this last night. What was going on?
Yeah, it was late last night, Russ. And I think it's been hard for anybody, the investigators, everybody covering this case, to really get any good sleep last night. I talked to several law enforcement sources.
I didn't get good sleep last night.
I was aware
up till
of this case, and then this morning I talked to a source.
You can go check out that live video
yesterday, and
we
said
were talking
that
about
it
this
was
case.
Very disturbing. It was very emotional. Lots of different agencies out there. We've heard that Austin is the lead, but we know that there were a lot of local investigators on the scene as well. And he said that he saw this baby with his own eyes, that he was relieved that this baby was okay, was inside the house and doing well when he got the chance to see her. But they were very sad that the result, for the mom, that they weren't able to recover her alive. He told us that, that this baby again is now in CPS custody, and,
Right.
and they are so happy that they were able to recover her.
The baby appeared to be unhurt. The baby was taken immediately to the hospital to be checked out by doctors, confirmed that she is fine. She's less than a month old, and was placed in CPS custody. And we were told by Cheryl Mercedes a little while ago is in a foster home right now, because even though we have a father here.
Yeah, that's
we
a
have
good question
grandparents
why
who are
they
very
tried to
involved
hide
in the
that
family.
car in the
CPA.
backyard. So they're doing all those DNA tests before they release
Checks.
Margot.
And if they're going to release that child out of state custody, they have to be sure that the child will be safe wherever it's going, even if it's an immediate family member. So for now, Margot is in a foster home, some family that has been checked out and is certified to take a baby, an infant. But we know CPS tries whenever possible to place children with immediate family members. I'm sure this case has gone to the top of the stack right before Christmas here, as they try to make sure a family member can safely take her.
And I think one question we continue to hear from people out there is the motive, is why did this happen? And I know we've gotten some information today, and we just heard law enforcement not really ready to name officially this person that's been charged, but we have heard from law enforcement sources a little bit more on that background. And Russ, in my conversation with the source this morning, they said this friend of Heidi Broussard was someone who actually went to baby appointments with Heidi Broussard in Austin.
And was there for the birth of the child.
Right. So this is somebody who had an intimate relationship with this mom. Obviously, a friendship that did not just, was not just developed overnight. This was a friendship, a trusted relationship.
Right.
And in the conversation with the source this morning, I was really, it kind of gave me pause. I mean, those thinking about a woman going with another woman to an appointment, before the birth of a baby. That's a significant, intimate setting. And, he shared that just so we could kind of get an idea of kind of some of the details that investigators are now putting together.
Sure. I mean, as a new mom yourself, right? You're thinking probably, who would I take to those appointments with me if it's not my spouse or in her case, her boyfriend, right? It would be somebody trusted and close.
It's a close circle.
Sure.
Right.
And we're hearing from law enforcement sources who've told our affiliates in Austin that this woman was plotting this whole time to take this baby from Margot, even before Margot was born.
Right.
That this was all, part of the plan.
And that's one thing we didn't hear from Austin police today.
Right.
They laid out this timeline, but they didn't say exactly, at what point this friend took or coerced or however that happened.
Yeah, how do they even know each other, right? Too.
Right.
One's in Austin, one's in the Houston area.
Right.
So
they've known each
they
other
were
for
close enough
25
to-
years.
Yeah.
They've known each other for 25 years. Get your shit together, news.
Again, I didn't think we'd get all the answers today. You have to keep in mind, this happened late last night and early in the morning that they found the body and the baby.
Right. We're still waiting on the autopsy. And you heard
Right.
Austin police stress that, this investigation continues. More charges could come. There may be other people involved. They're not ready to say, but they're still interviewing a lot of people. And I thought it was interesting. They're still doing a call out for help. You might see our coverage today and think, okay, mom and baby have been found. Story over. But Austin police say, hey, still call us. We need tips. We need information to continue to build this case. Something tells me all their questions are not answered.
Right. Well, and you heard the Detective Harries from Austin PD say during this press conference that investigators are still looking at multiple locations between Austin and Houston.
I heard that. That was interesting. It made me wonder where else besides, because we've been focused on this house. We know they had a search warrant to go in. We know they were there overnight. But where else might they be searching between Austin and Houston?
Right. Where did this murder take place? Did it happen in Harris County? Did it happen in Austin and her body was just driven here at some point? What is the involvement of the man who lives in that home in Harris County, who owns the home and lived there with the woman under arrest?
Yeah.
Where is he? Is he not involved at all in this?
I did have a chance to discuss that too with
Right.
law enforcement sources this morning, and they told me he so far was fully cooperating with the investigation. They, nobody would rule out charges, but he certainly hasn't been charged at this moment, at this hour. And I did find it interesting that he was cooperating, But what did he know? How long was he there at this house with Heidi, with baby Margot? We just don't know. They haven't answered those questions.
If he was there at all, exactly. I mean, you're right. When your girlfriend or the person you live with, I'll just put it there, I don't know the relationship, but when she shows up with an infant child and you're there are going to be some questions, obviously. But we don't know that he was even in the home at any point with this woman and baby Margot. So we don't want to speculate there at all. And it's very dangerous to start assuming things in cases like this. This is very complicated, and what you think makes sense, you try to look at it. Yeah, you try to look at it logically and go, well, if this happened, this would have had to happen. Well, you know what? Anybody who would do something like this, forget logic, forget reasoning as you look at what may have happened and what logical normal people do, right?
Right, and that may be one reason that Austin police weren't ready to discuss motive, because we know now that this woman is in custody, so we know they're beginning their interview process with her, right? But just because she says one thing, right? Heidi's not here to tell her part of the story. Margot certainly can't. So we know that they can't just take this woman's story as fact either. They have to go and then verify it against all these different people and try to figure out, okay, how did this happen? What is the motive? And that may be one reason we did not hear them share those details.
Right. And let me run down a couple of things here that we're kind of stating that Austin police did not confirm during that press conference. And I'll tell you why we're saying what we're saying. We're identifying the body found in the trunk of that vehicle you're looking at there, that silver car behind the house, as Heidi Broussard. Austin police said it appears to be her, but the medical examiner will confirm. We're saying it is because Heidi's mother has told our affiliates in Austin it is her. They're doing DNA testing right now, could be 48 to 72 hours on the child found inside to confirm it is Margot Carey. We're saying it is because Heidi Broussard's mother says it is. And Austin police are saying that child initially appears to be, based on what she looks like, what she was wearing, appears to be Margot, but Heidi's mother says it is. So that's why we're stating that, because grandma says that is her granddaughter that was found in the house, and her daughter who was found in that vehicle deceased. So, and as far as the suspect's name that Austin PD is not naming, we know her name because she has been booked into Harris County, into the jail. And I have that right here in front of me with her bond amount and her name and all of that. So there she is, Megan Rose Firamusca.
And interesting that she's charged 2 counts, right? 2 counts of kidnapping,
right.
1 count of tampering with a corpse. So again, you know, those are the charges now. We're still waiting, right, for her initial appearance here in Harris County.
Well, she did appear.
Oh, she did.
She did. Well, she appeared earlier, and we can show you that video here. Yeah, Jaime's going to bring that up. So there she is in probable cause court just a couple hours ago, but they brought her up to the magistrate on traffic tickets, outstanding traffic citations here in Harris County, 6 of them. And it was, I mean, just the most minor stuff you can imagine, $50 fine type stuff. And she was let off with time served on those. So the only thing I'm going to assume is that's just something they had to clear off the docket because she's in Harris County and she's under arrest. Let's get these out of the way. There's no jail time. There's no fines. Just, we don't care anymore. But there was no mention of kidnapping and no mention of tampering with a corpse.
Well, and we know law enforcement sources have told me they're eager to extradite her back to Travis County. I mean, they want to, again, that's where the case originated, out of Austin, and that's where, you know, the case will continue. But again, because she was arrested here in Harris County, that's why we're seeing her making her initial court appearances here. But it'll be interesting.
I hate
to see,
that
you know,
too.
what's next for her.
My middle girl is Isley Rose. I hate that her middle name is Rose too. It bothers
in Texas
me.
To be sent up to another county in Texas, and those charges just go with you.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think they're going to have any trouble extraditing. I mean, it'll just, you know,
county to county.
Right. It's
But
obviously
as far as the
Travis
charges, I mean, she was charged
and
here.
Austin, you
she
know.
was charged here.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, you know, it sounds like Travis County wants to handle
I think
this.
it's procedural, Russ. You know, I think,
holder.
Well, procedural in the fact that they're getting those traffic tickets, maybe any outstanding warrants or any outstanding court cases here. That way, there's nothing in the way of the possible extradition.
And the last thing we've been able to see as far as her physical location right now was the inmate processing center here in Harris County. And as far as we know, she has not been transferred anywhere else, including back up to Austin, to Travis County yet. But it is possible, and we're staking out the exits there with cameras to see if, you know, they whisk her away. But the way I understand it, cars come and go from there a lot.
They do.
And they're unmarked a lot of the time.
They are.
And it's possible she could have been in the back seat of a car that left there and we didn't see it. So
yeah, well, we'll make some calls. We'll try to confirm
Right.
that, because we know that they would likely move her today if they could. But again, the law enforcement sources we're talking to did tell us to expect her initial court appearance here in Harris County. So it'll be interesting to see if, you know, this was the last time we see her, or if, and they'll move her right away and do the other charges up in Travis County, or if, you know, they'll do that all down here. From my understanding, again, it seemed like everything would happen here initially and then extradite her.
And we apologize for the quality of this video, but the way it works there is we're not physically in the room. We're not allowed to be. So we're taking pictures of a video screen, and that's why it looks as it does, especially when you zoom in. But she never lifted her head up for as long as she was there until she was called upon. And that was about 30 seconds. And off they went. They were moving on to the next person. Jaime, do we have any questions coming in from folks watching digitally that want to ask us anything?
Some were asking about the, when they discovered the body at this home, if we have any word about how long she had been dead.
That's a great question.
Well, the medical examiner will be able to figure that out. The autopsy is underway right now, and that's one of the primary things the ME does, right, is figure out how long that person's been deceased based on, you know, what they're able to know by the condition of the body.
And I think, Russ, you made a good point. We don't know where she died. We don't know if it was in this house here in Harris County or if it happened somewhere else, and this is where she was found. That's all we know right now, is she was found in the trunk of this car in the home in Harris County. That's a good question.
It makes me wonder when you hear investigators are looking at several other locations between here and Austin, that other things happened along the way that they need to look into. Now, it could have just been stopping for gas, but it could have been something much worse. We just don't know.
Right. And in cases like these, surveillance video is always, you know, some of the best pieces of evidence that investigators go after. We know even if you're stopping for gas, there's cameras everywhere, right? And so they'll use surveillance cameras to build out their timeline, certainly as they're building this case to prepare for court.
Anything else? I see another question up there. Why not name the suspect? And they must be talking about Austin PD not naming the suspect.
Correct.
I found that interesting. If someone's been arrested and booked,
it's public record.
It's public record, and yet they didn't want to name her publicly. I'm not a detective, so I'm not going to question, you know, why they're doing what they're doing.
They also didn't take questions, so we weren't able to ask them.
But
you
it
know,
is public
sometimes,
record.
right? Sometimes we're able to ask them and follow up, but we weren't able to. In this case, they said it's a special case. Normally they take questions, but today they didn't.
Right. So I can't answer that for you, and they wouldn't answer it either. I think you're talking about investigators here on a
CPS is
case.
involved because that's
just
how
wanna
they
make
got
sure
to the
they do
house.
exactly
It was the
right.
tip.
They're going to be very careful.
That was the tip. The
and they
tip
don't wanna
came
jeopardize
into Child
anything
Protective Services
that they're doing,
So,
or any.
You know, this is a crazy deal for her right now. So what we're looking at is the arraignment video, and they're zooming in on it with their phone. But as this goes and as information comes out, they'll continue to release more and more footage. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I know everybody's probably covering this. Everybody's got videos going on live right now, and so you can watch these same things all around. And we've been covering this from, I guess we started Sunday night or Monday night. I can't remember. You know, we had seen the footage come out, or we had heard about the story come out. But we hadn't been able to. This girl don't want to show her face, though. I can tell you that much. She's not trying to show her face in this courtroom. I don't think he was. I don't think Shane was involved with the kidnapping. I don't think, because I'll tell you why. Law enforcement is calling him the complainant. And so I don't think Shane was trying to work with these people to kidnap the baby. That's crazy. We know that's crazy. It's a really, really, really sad deal that people want to still point the finger at Shane. He is completely, they called him the complainant, which means without him, they don't even know about this. Without him, they don't even know what's going down. Without him, they don't know any of this. And so, D-Wop, you're not bashing the father. Well, for sure I'm not bashing the father. I don't think the father has anything to do with this. The complainant means he's the one who called it in. And people want to continue to keep their this girl, I mean, you can look at her, you can see her mugshot, I told you, you can save some arrows from somebody, and you should save your arrows for this young lady right now. And what made Chris call CPS? Man, I think Chris called CPS because he's not a freaking idiot. Now, he said that he thought that baby was his, or that was her natural baby, or whatever. And then, but he did call CPS. He would have been arrested if they found out through somewhere else. But he may have been able to say, look, man, she came home with this baby and I didn't know what the hell was going on. That's why I called CPS. Like, so he's the one who called it in. And because I think this lady was crazy. I think she was just crazy. I think her plan, like they said, I think her plan all along was to kidnap this baby and pass it off as her own. And so, yeah. Chris is the one who called. Oh, he said he called after he saw the news. Nice. Well, you could barf out like totally. Great name there, by the way. You don't have to believe. Like, that's the thing. You don't have to. I choose to believe Shane is innocent, and I can do that. And I choose to believe that that father is a victim. And if people are going to continue, I mean, you can start all the conspiracy theories you want, and it's all fair game out there on the YouTube world. But you will look. Oh, you're just guessing he saw the news. Well, that's the thing. We don't know the conversation he had with CPS. Maybe that was exactly what he said. He was like, damn it, this girl showed up with a baby. I don't know what the hell's. We don't know that conversation. We don't have that conversation. So Chris could have literally said, this freak showed up with a baby. You need to come check this out. He had to tell him something to get him out there, And so they say, you're leaving me. I'm pregnant. Then the lie gets bigger and bigger. Often they have a history of repeatedly faking pregnancies. Down with the phone. How do you know your girlfriend is faking pregnancy? Someone in chat said Chris had tried to break off relationship, and she said, well, first of all, this girl doesn't look like she's the slimmest. From her mugshot, we can tell she has some weight on her. And so a lot of times you can hide pregnancies because you have a little weight on her. I'm not trying to listen. Every time I talk about KK being a fat heifer, people get on to me. I'm not trying to say that this lady is, well, she don't look pretty. I can say she ain't pretty looking, but she does have some weight on her. And so it could be easy to hide that depending on their relationship. Plus, if he's trying to get out of the relationship, but she then drops the pregnancy card, and then, until she gets somewhere she can go, so, that's just my, look, Christy Rose says, I'll let Christy Rose say it. I don't have to say it. Remember, I said, you can save your arrows for this chick. Take your arrows back from what you threw at Shane, man. And I love when people want to go in the chat and be like, I said it all along. He wasn't involved. Maybe you did. But this isn't, I want you to understand, this isn't about being right or wrong. Like, I'm not in this game for right or wrong. And so if you're one of those people that wants to come in here and say, you were wrong, or you might not know what you're talking about, good. That's not me. I could care less about right or wrong. If you didn't watch the Patrick Frazee case, you didn't watch the Patrick Frazee case. I accused a lot of people and talked about a lot of speculations, all the while trying to say Patrick could be innocent. What do you want to say? Then you got to get out of here. You can't be sitting here doing this live.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
All right. Get out of here.
No.
Yep. Don't go, Ella. No. I love you. We'll do a live together in a second, girl. We're going to do some more TikTok videos here in just a little bit. Y'all go follow me on TikTok at Dad with a Phone. Maybe she put a ton of weight on purpose and pulled it off. She does. So I had a mugshot. I put a mugshot up of her the other day, or from 2018, and she does look a lot different. We're gonna do a complete breakdown of Megan, but I ain't trying to get into that on this video. I wanted to get through this these live videos. I wanted to make sure that we had the info. These guys are still talking. Let's see what they're saying still.
Shows up next door.
Wow.
It was amazing how this woman really knew the story. She didn't have to be told, who this was and that this woman was missing with her baby. She was watching closely.
And I think that's what's been fascinating. The story is connected with so many people. I was up a lot last night just talking to different people. Some people, investigators, other people just looking online for any sort of information they could find to kind of send investigate in her inner circle.
So it makes sense that they would try to track down this is very involved in this case.
Yeah, it's rare to see all those agencies. FBI, we've seen before, Texas Rangers also on scene. So a lot of resources being put into this investigation, but you can clearly see why. A mom and a
right
2 to 3 week old infant.
Well, I mean, kudos to the FBI. It sounds like they got on it as soon as they were asked and brought in the special agents, the task force that handles missing kids, and they jumped right in to this investigation with all the other agencies and brought the full force of the federal government with them, which is extensive. And especially if you're
I'm gonna let this play out for a second. I'm gonna grab a glass of water and then I'll be back.
It's always great to have federal agents helping out with that as you cross state lines. But in this case, she did not go far, from Austin to Northwest Harris County here. Her body, Heidi Broussard's body, found there in the trunk of that vehicle early this morning after search warrants were signed for the home and any vehicles on the property. Oh, a big question we were hoping to have answered today, and it was not, was what exactly led them to this house. We know it's owned by a man named Christopher Green and a woman who apparently no longer lives there, according to neighbors. The suspect who's been arrested lives there with him. We don't know their relationship, but something, and all they said was a lead was generated that brought them to this home. So
I was listening, Russ, to see if they would tell us, was it a Crime Stoppers tip? Was it a tip from family? They did not confirm any of those details.
Or was it just the fact they connected the dots between these two friends, and this is where the other friend, where Heidi's friend lives?
Right. Was it law enforcement generated? Right off of their, boots on the ground.
Yeah, I think that's where most of our viewers are speculating, just trying to just understand, how did they come to, to this scene here in Houston area. Just wondering, what led investigators. I mean, it's the question we keep getting over and over again. And it's a question we got a lot earlier when we were on covering this. What led investigators to this home?
And keep in mind, this wasn't random. I mean, someone may have told them, hey, Heidi was friends with this woman up in Houston. I mean, this is a woman who went to prenatal appointments with her, who did things with her. So you have to assume she was around.
And if she was going to those appointments, to your point, Russ, we wonder who else knew her, family, friends of Heidi, who else knew her? Because if she's going to those appointments, she is somebody in her inner circle.
So it makes sense that they would try to track down this friend of Heidi's who apparently was close enough. She's going to these, these appointments with her and things. You would want to talk to that friend, whether she was a suspect or not, about what she knew. And maybe they already had talked to her. I don't know. But it sounds like came upon her outside the home when they arrived at some point yesterday, arrested her, took her into custody, at least detained her.
Then got that search warrant to go inside.
Warrants to go off for the property, exactly. And what I wonder, hearing that part of the story, Grace, is if they take the woman into custody outside the home, who's inside with Margot while they're getting search warrants, and was anybody there?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Right.
Again, law enforcement sources told me they found Margot inside the home.
Right.
And so we know she was inside. We don't know who else was there. My understanding is not clear on where Christopher Green was and all of that. But again, investigators we talked to said he's fully cooperating.
Right. And we have not seen him, as far as we know, in any of the video at the location. I haven't heard anybody say anything about him as far as where he physically is at this point. Is he being questioned? Is he gone? Is he around? Is he? I don't know.
Right.
And we don't again, don't want to, drag this guy's reputation around. We don't know that he's involved in any way here. We do know he owns the home. We know he lived there. Neighbors
Right.
told us they saw him a lot. Didn't talk to him very often, but he was a nice guy and would wave and chat him up occasionally. But we don't know that he was home or anywhere around when all this was happening.
Another question people are kind of asking is that if anybody really saw anything that or noticed something, if this body was in the back of the trunk of a car, did people not smell something? Did people not notice something? That maybe something was not quite right. If it's always how long it had been, behind the home,
right,
out of sight, those kind of questions.
Well, when the medical examiner gets done, those questions should be answered. As far as seeing anything unusual, we only have those two neighbors to go on that we talked for quite a while.
Hopefully I don't get kicked out.
Nothing unusual. I mean,
I probably should pull this out just
with
kick them
either of
off.
them.
Let's kick them off. I'm tired of listening to them anyway, so I'll let those pictures run a little bit. I'll let those pictures run a little bit. What are y'all's questions? Do you have any questions? Of course, you have questions of who did it, why haven't they arrested her, why haven't they come up with, because they actually didn't talk about the charges. They said that she went to court today on traffic violations, and that's the easiest way to get somebody, by the way. They don't want to drop murder charges on you. They don't want to drop kidnapping, tampering charges on you right away. They don't want to do that. They want to because if they do that, then they're wrong, or they don't have all the information, they may or not be able to make a deal with you. So they got her on traffic violations, took her into Houston court on traffic violations, and then once they did all the arraignment and they pretty much dismissed all that stuff. And so the reason they did that is because she was arrested in Houston on traffic violations, but Austin put a felony warrant out on her for charges of tampering with the body and kidnapping, 2 charges of kidnapping. She's being held on bond out of Austin. Okay. So listen, think about this. They actually have up to 10 days legally. Austin could let her sit in Houston jail for 10 days before they go get her. That's not going to happen. They want to get her back to Austin. And so once they get her to Austin, they will then book her in and charge her on all those charges. And so that's these news guys aren't saying that, but it's all this legal jumbo. So I said, I read somewhere that Megan was pregnant and had a stillborn. Does know if that's true? We don't know anything about her state other than one of the neighbors said he thought she was pregnant, or he thought they were talking about having a baby. The boyfriend made the statement that he thought this baby was hers, but also they said the boyfriend is the one who called CPS. So there's this weird, we don't have there's going to be speculation. Oh my God, I can already see the YouTube blowing up with speculation on who's involved, how this worked out, who helped. I see it coming. I don't know how much of it I'm going to get involved with. I will probably check it out a little bit, but I'm not trying to jump on the dang bandwagon. DWAP was hardly yelling. Laugh out loud. Am I yelling right now? Oh, Rule. That is your video. Yeah, turn the video down. I'm probably yelling. Am I yelling? I probably was yelling. I got my headphones in, so I can't hear. These are like noise canceling. So sorry if I was yelling. Woo! I get excited. YouTube does not love their crazy rabbit holes, and there's nothing wrong with that. What's cool about going down rabbit holes is that I think we're going to get information. I think that these cops are on top of it, and we're going to end up getting more information, and they're going to end up releasing a lot of stuff on this. You were yelling. Tally Girl said, "It's perfect. You're not yelling. Just lower the volume down a little bit. Just lower the volume. Just foster care question. My God, no, I don't think the baby's in foster care. What I think the baby's in is it's an infant. So they're most likely. I mean, I'm just speaking most likely. Most likely, the baby is at the hospital in the neonatal unit and being cared for by nurses, is in legal custody of Child Protective Services. But most likely, the baby is at the hospital being cared for by nurses, not they didn't take that baby to a foster home and say, hey, boom. They probably have individual nurse that's been, assigned to this baby of some sort. Or maybe they have an individual infant home that is set up, ready to go for infants like this, or had someone ready. But very quickly, as soon as they get, I guarantee they're not keeping the baby from the grandparents and or Shane right now. They're letting them at least see, even if it's in custody with Child Protective Services, they want to keep the baby as close to the family as they can. And as soon as they confirm the DNA, they're going to put this baby in with a family member. I would assume the baby would go in the custody of the father. We'll wait and see what happens with that, but they're not keeping this baby away from she's not. When you say foster care, like that, the connotation of foster care is that she's in some fat lady's house with 13 other children, and I doubt that very I doubt that very seriously. They are I bet the baby is in the custody of a very special, if it is a foster parent, but they're not going, the baby's not going to be taken from the father at all. No way, shape, or form. And so the guy said they're just doing, it's standard with this infant. They've got to make sure that baby is Margot. And so the baby is not, the baby's not going straight to foster care right away. Well, because I know how they handled the infant when it came to the Patrick Frazee case. And even though CPS had custody of the baby was in the physical custody of the grandparents. And so unless the grandparents say we can't handle the baby, unless the dad says we can't handle the baby, they're not taking this baby. That's a speculation on where the baby is, because I know one thing for sure. They have released zero information about the minor in this situation. And so when people say, oh, the baby's at foster care, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Good for you. You make some shit up. But I don't have to argue about it. Until DNA comes back 24 to 70, it's foster care. Again, it's not foster care in a sense they put her in somebody's house. I think they have special units, just like when Kaylee. So when they took Kaylee away from Patrick, she was in the care of the state in a specialized home. Yes, foster, but foster gives you the connotation that the baby has been placed there for a amount of time. Temporary care is what I would call it more. CPS has custody of it. And no way, shape, or form did law enforcement use the word foster. And so, I just, it's one of those things where the state wants that baby with the family as quick as possible, but they're doing their legal diligence. So anyway, we could argue there's nothing wrong with foster care. No, there isn't. I just want to make sure that the connotation is it isn't a foster care for any length of time. It is literally waiting for Tess to come back. And so it's not like, It's not like they're putting them there. So it's just one of those, the connotation of foster care is an orphan. This baby is not an orphan. So that's why I'm just, and just wanting to clear up for everyone else. Cause people are like, what do you mean? I actually think the baby's probably to be honest with you, I would almost bet the baby is in the hospital at the neonatal unit, because this baby's only a month old. And so very few foster homes are going to be set up. I know. When are we going to? Here when I finish up. But I would lay bets that the baby's at the actual hospital in a special care unit with nurses. But sweet pineapple Fruit Loop. The Fruit Loop wants to argue it all the way to the bank. So we'll go all day. Fruit Loop. She's rocking her orange jumpsuit. Looks like one of the guys. They better put her in the protective custody. Message held. Don't forget to like and subscribe, Miss Murder says. You don't have to like and subscribe. They don't belong in hospitals. True statement. But when have you known the government to go, oh yeah, let me get it to the family real quick, get it to a foster family? It's not gonna. So I just think in this I think in this aspect, when we're talking about the infant, they're going to be very protective. And so for the family Christmas, jeez, Lily. I was actually defending her, Miss H, so riddle me that. I don't know. Based on allegations from her supposed friend, CPS may double check if Shane is healthy. This very, very, very could be. They're trying to keep her safe in case others were involved. Didn't matter though. They actually went through the process. But what happened, Earthbound, I'm answering your questions. They actually kept her let me kill this. They kept her in protective custody, but what they had done is they had expedited that stuff. Because they actually had to do an intrastate transfer with Kaylee. And so they had to be able, Barris had to be able to take her out of state. And so they actually expedited that stuff quickly. They actually talk about that in one of the hearings and in one of the court hearings, how they expedited it in the Barrett case. And they were prepared. They had already started preparation for that before they actually had charged Patrick. So, but they had to go through that. It took 72 hours to place the baby with the Barris, but the way they did it, they started that process before they made the arrest. They actually started that process on the 19th when they knew that Crystal was going to come down and testify. They had spoken with the lawyer. They started the child procedures, the child stuff on the 19th. And because they sent in Mary Longmire into the jail literally hours within 24 hours, actually the day he was arrested, Child Protective Services went in. I'm just quoting you because I was in the courtroom when they were talking about this. Child Protective Services went to the jail immediately. Now, this is a little bit different circumstances because we're talking about the mom was missing and then the father was being charged with the crime. They don't have to deal with the father being charged with the crime because they've arrested someone or they're going to arrest. But in the Barrett case, they actually started those processes, that 72-hour process that it was going to take. They started it early so that it could be done when the arrest was made. They got Mary Longmire from Child Protective Services in to see Patrick the same day he was arrested. And they argue over this. They argued over her testimony with Patrick because he had been Mirandized. She knew that he had a public defender, and she still did this questioning that they tried to get taken out, but they weren't able to. All right. Hey, I'm almost done. I'm going to finish this one up. I'm going to lock this one down. And then you want to do a TikTok video? All right. Hey guys, thanks for watching Dad with a Phone in this press conference. I want to shut this down so that this can be a standalone video with the press conference live. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go through. I'm actually going to contact and talk to some sources that are there in Houston that I've been tweeting back and forth with, and then probably come on tonight and discuss this in more detail and get into Megan. Maybe we'll get some information on her arraignment or her transfer down to Austin. And so you guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you're on Facebook right now, watching on Facebook, if you're watching from Facebook, can I get you to, once this hangs up, go over and do a review on my Facebook. Just give me a review on my Facebook page, Dad with a Phone. If you're on YouTube and you have a Facebook and you're watching me for the first time, my name's Michael. They call me Dad with a Phone. You can go over to Facebook and find me on there. I do a lot of just exclusive Facebook lives, but we have been doing this simulcast thing for this case and all the upcoming cases. So you can catch us both on YouTube and Facebook. But thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. I know there's going to be a lot of people talking about this case. There's going to be a lot of, you were rude, Melissa. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put that one up. I meant to put that one up. Ella is so adorable. Yes, she is. That's why I'm hanging up on you so I can spend some time with my daughter. So I work from home, so I see them every day. And my kids are homeschooled, so I don't neglect my kids for these live videos. You don't do school? You don't. I don't do school, but everyone else is homeschooled. Yeah. Do you do homeschool? Right now we're on vacation. It's Christmas vacation. It's Christmas vacation. Have you been checking your presents out? Oh. Thanks for watching Dad with a Phone. Grammy wrapped them really good. If you want to find me on Facebook, go to the link at the bottom. Hey, I'm trying to finish this up so I can be done. What else? We'll be back tonight. Thanks for watching. Again, if you're on Facebook, go give me a review. It don't even cost you nothing. You don't even have to put 4 stars. If you don't even like me, you're like, the guy talks too much, then write that review. And so it just helps. It really does help. Thanks again. We'll see you guys later. Bam.